Valentine's Day is a day of love, and here to help us get through the day is life coach Shelli Netko. See, that's what I'm saying. I knew it was good. All right, I said as soon as I did that.
Yeah.
Netko.
Yeah.
So Shelli, and the thing is, you've been here so much, we know who you are and stuff. I'm still getting it wrong. But you know what? That is one thing about Valentine's Day. We're gonna get things wrong, and we gotta learn not to get upset with it, and not to, of course, stress over this day.
Right.
Why does everybody make this one day the most important day of their whole relationship?
Their whole relationship, there's so much expectation. And I think it starts when we're little girls with a Valentine's box, and then it just blows up from there, honestly.
Yeah.
And then, of course, it's on us women to put it on the man to fulfill all those expectations.
Yeah.
And then we get to a place where we say, okay, one dinner, one box of chocolates, and a dozen roses is going to fix everything.
Yes, and
right?
it really doesn't, does it?
Yeah. So, but believe it or not, the season of Valentine's Day is also a season of breakups. It's when the highest amount of breakups occur this week.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but for people who don't break up, we're going to talk about top 5 gifts.
Okay.
Because people are running around shopping for those last-minute gifts so they can save their relationship.
Yes.
Right?
All right.
But let's save gifts and let's talk about breakups first.
Yes, because this is very important here.
It's important.
What do you think is going to break people up mostly?
Well, I brought my list and I had to write it down because my memory's failing. The number 5 is social media envy. And people see those pictures, they want to be this other person, but if you're focusing on someone else's relationship, you can't focus on your own. And then number 4 is my favorite, the Cheapskate Syndrome. There are a lot of people who break up because they don't want to spend money. And then they don't have to spend money at all.
Right, at all. But then all of a sudden they lost that relationship.
Exactly.
And it's not that hard to go spend something. I think even if you made a card,
right?
Even if you just wrote a little letter, you know, I love you, a little note, a sticky note.
Yeah.
How easy is that?
But it's not about the sentiment for people like that. They're in that comparison mode. They want to have the biggest best.
Got it. Okay.
But those are usually people who are number 3, which is love on the rocks. And that's when things are already going wonky, not so good, and then they feel, okay, Valentine's Day's coming. What am I going to do? Am I going to jump all in, or am I going to pull back? And they're like, I'm just going to pull back, and we're done.
There you go.
And scene. Yeah.
All right, number 2.
And then number 2 is unmet expectations. And I know some people who've been in this situation where they get into a relationship, start dating someone, and maybe someone says, hey, I'm the CEO of a company, but really it's just a scammer with a bunch of business cards.
Yes.
Like the Tinder swindler.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So, of course, you're going to break up with that person.
Oh, yeah, because then you find out the truth when it comes to like a day like this, because he's been talking all this whole time about he knows this restaurant, knows that person.
Right.
Oh, the Ferrari, yeah, I can get that, and everything like that. And then all of a sudden, what are we doing for dinner?
And then he's a guy who's full of, sorry, I couldn't get the reservation, and then you're doing a drive-through.
Right.
Yeah, nobody wants that. Yeah.
No, okay.
And then number 1 is pressure to commit. And this is one where usually people roll up on Valentine's Day and they stop and look at their relationship and step back and say, wow, where are we?
Yeah.
And a lot of guys don't like that. You know, they feel like they're in a video game, and if you don't level up, you die, right? And nobody wants that pressure. So they just pull back and step out and say, okay, I'm done. Because it's easier. They don't want the conflict.
So, and you know what's so amazing is that there's a lot of people that do that. Even Selma Hayek actually did it. So you know that, right?
No.
Selma? Yeah, she didn't. She had to be dragged to her wedding. So she kept on going. She said yes to the marriage, and then when it came the day, she didn't show up. And she kept on doing it. So they changed the date. She wouldn't show up over and over. So there are people like
Julia Roberts in Runaway Bride.
Exactly.
Yes.
There it is.
All of a sudden, she's on a horse riding off into the sunset alone.
Got it. Okay. Now let's go to what's our next thing?
Well, that was number 1, the pressure to commit, which makes sense. But then, so the people who don't break up, you don't make that list. Okay.
All right.
So then you're out shopping. I was out last night, and the store was still crazy. It was like 9 o'clock. People were ransacking the Valentine's aisle.
And you were upset because they couldn't find what you were trying to get for somebody.
Maybe. Maybe.
Let's talk
right? So believe it or not, number 5 is jewelry.
Okay.
And
good gift.
I know a lot of women are upset about that because they want jewelry to be number 1.
Right, but no.
No.
Jewelry isn't.
And then number 4 is gift cards.
Okay.
So which at first I was like, Home Depot, that doesn't make sense. That sounds cheesy. But if it's a spa or whatever, that makes total sense.
Okay.
A romantic dinner. So that's an experience. That's nice. It's shared. But if you're going to do that, try to keep the heavy stuff off the table. You know, don't talk about your taxes and all that stuff that you fight about,
Just
right?
talk about the happy times.
Exactly.
All right.
Number 2 is flowers.
Yes.
Everybody loves flowers,
Easy to
even if
get.
they say they don't, because it's the gesture.
Yes.
And then number 1 is candy.
That's it right there.
Because even women who say, I don't eat candy, trust me, when the door is shut, they eat the candy.
Yeah. So you can go right now to Circle K and get a Hershey candy bar.
Yep.
Put a little ribbon around it.
100%.
$2.59.
They even have roses at Circle K.
And
They're ready to go.
And listen, she going, this is why I got you. Go, this chocolate's expensive, darling. Do you know how expensive this chocolate is from Circle K?
Yeah, it cost me a $50 fill-up.
There it is. So it's good. Can I ask this? I feel that it's more men who are hurt at this time than women, because men do go get the gifts for the women and stuff, but the women sometimes don't get it for the guys, and they kind of like feel left out. Is that something that usually?
Yeah, I feel like that's a thing. I feel like it's definitely a female holiday, and they get hyper-focused on themselves sometimes, and have that expectation that the male partner is going to just go over the top.
Yeah.
And meantime, they're like, oh, here's a card and you know, whatever. Here's a little gift card or whatever it is. But the most important thing, I think, is with that disappointment is to know that whatever you receive from someone, say you want diamonds and you get Diamondback tickets instead, that's disappointing, right?
Yeah.
But look at the gesture, because when people give a gift, they're speaking from their love language.
Yeah.
So if it's tickets, it's an experience. Somebody wants
And
to
that's
spend
what they
time with
want.
you, and that's wonderful.
Shelli Netko,
Yes.
thank you very much for joining us.
And
We
here I
appreciate
brought
that.
you the number 1 gift, candy.
Oh, you brought me candy. I love
Yes.
this. Little hearts. I love that.
Of course.
Tell them where they can find you.
You can find me at shellinetko.com or on Instagram. Follow my 1 Minute Mindset, and it's Shelli Netko.
There it is, Shelli
Yeah.
Netko. We got it right.
That's
Thank
it.
you, Shelli.
Like Petco.
So there it is. All right.